Hey people, it is Wednesday, July the 3rd. The time is 11:18 in the morning and it is 24 degrees Celsius. I'm at Yonge in Adelaide, looking south. I'm going to make my way east along Adelaide. And as I make my way east, I'm going to go up to Richmond at each street and then back down to Adelaide at the next one. So it'll be sort of like a zigzag walk between Adelaide and Richmond Street, heading east from Yonge, perhaps as far east as Parliament Street. Both of these streets are one-way streets going in opposite directions. And both have some interesting historical buildings. And I've done previous videos along each street separately. But I thought I'd combine both streets into one walk for this video. It's a very nice July morning. So we're already coming to the first street where I'll be zigging, I guess. This is Victoria Street. So I head north a block up to Richmond. There's a nice look down the Adelaide Canyon. And here's the downtown passport office. One of these days I'll go in there and renew my passport. And it may be 24 degrees now, but by later in the afternoon it's expected to get up to 29 degrees. Feeling more like 37 with the humidex, according to the forecast. And possibility of thunderstorms. So I'm kind of glad to be out recording this now instead of later. Alright, now here is Richmond Street. Eastward we go. This is an interesting looking residential block. I'm not sure what year this was built. It definitely stands out. A new tower on the rise there. Coming up onto Church Street, so I'm going to zag, I guess, back down to Adelaide. Maybe I'll cross though and head south on the other side. There's construction hoarding on either side of the street, so it doesn't really matter, I suppose, which side I choose. There's McVeigh's Irish Pub. This new building is wrapping around it as it rises. Looks like a dead end here, but I imagine it's just an illusion. And here we are back at Adelaide. York Mechanics Institute. Once upon a time. What side of the street? I'll go to the south side. I think the south side is the shadier side. And you know me, I'm always desperately seeking shade. And a better look at some of the older buildings on this side of the street. Well, so much for the shade. And we have St. James Park on this side. Very heavily treed park, and that means shade. And approaching Jarvis Street. I see some water mist over there. I have to keep that in mind for another day, maybe when I'm walking through here when it's boiling hot. Alright, so I'm going to head north up to Richmond. Maybe I'll cross here.
No bank card.
For some reason, I've never been a fan of this building here. I think they tried to do something to sort of get that faux historic look, but I don't think they pulled it off really. Maybe some people disagree. And back at Richmond, so eastward we go. I'll stay on this side. Yeah, a pretty short block. We're already at George Street. A tall new residential tower is rising there. They preserved the facades of this old warehouse building. I'll be able to watch that one rise from my apartment window. I have a pretty good view. I live just a bit north of here. Right back south we go to Adelaide. Coming into one of the oldest parts of Toronto, from when it was even pre-Toronto, when it was the town of York. And the street signs actually say Town of York below Old Town Toronto. So here we are, walking east again on Adelaide. This building was erected in 1871. De La Salle Institute. And here's Toronto's first post office. Hello. That dates from the 1830s, I believe, right around the time when the city of Toronto was incorporated. Before that, it was the town of York, which was founded in 1793 or 4.
Answer a question tomorrow. I gave you the first one, though. I did the first one. The first one.
I did a more detailed walk through this area, walking along the boundary of what was the former town of York. I talked about some of the history of York in the days before it became Toronto. And we're at Sherbourne. So I'll cross to the other side before it changes. And we'll head back up to Richmond again. And back in the shade. Sherbourne bus. I'm sure that bus is interesting to ride sometimes. Passes through some fairly lively neighborhoods as it makes its way north. Lively in quotations. And back at Richmond. There's a major project underway right there. I think a couple of towers are going to be rising in that site. Queen Street is just a short jog to the north. Rental living, so these won't be condos. Purpose-built rentals, so that's a good thing. See some of the new towers at the Jarvis and Dundas area. Maybe we'll start to see more purpose-built rentals get built in the city. I think the condo market is going through a bit of a rough go at the moment. I think it's gotten to the point where people are unwilling to purchase condos that get ever smaller, but the price gets ever higher. And this is Ontario Street. We're currently walking south on, back down to Adelaide. There's the banknote. Wow, that's quite the contraption. I guess it's a crane, but that is quite enormous. There's another construction site right there. And this building still has its crane. So I guess that crane is for this construction site across the street. It's just not the usual sort of thing you would see. Very curious. Anyway, eastward we go. The Alumni Theater. A beautiful old historic building. This is Berkeley Street coming up. Cross to the other side. The Globe and Mail head office in the background there. And another tall tower proposed for this site. I'd say that would be a good use of this space here as opposed to what's currently there. A car coming, there we go. Christie Brown and Company stable dating from 1907. That's what this nice old building was. Quite nice. And unexpected muzak, so I'll just talk over that. Playing at a fairly high volume, unnecessarily, I would say. If you're just taking a walk down the street with your music. And another tall tower proposed for this site, 45 stories. Some major densification for this part of town, which I think is a good thing. We're still in downtown, we're just on the sort of eastern end of it here. And back at Richmond. And another tall tower proposed for across the street where that parking lot is. That's what I like to see. And this is the same project that we saw the sign for around the corner. But another one proposed for this corner, 44 stories. Given the state of the condo market, I'm curious as to if those buildings will move ahead as soon as they originally planned them to. Maybe they can always change their plans from being condos to purpose-built rentals. Seems unlikely, but you never know. All right, so this is Parliament Street. This is looking south towards Adelaide. So I think this is as far east as I'm going to go. There's one more block. Really all you can go over to Power Street, and then the on and off ramps to the Don Valley Parkway, or further to the east. And a look back from the way we came. So I hope you enjoyed the zigzag walk on the east side of downtown between Adelaide Street and Richmond Street. We got to look at some of the side streets that run between those two major streets on a beautiful day in early July. And it hasn't gotten too hot and disgusting yet, so that's a plus for me. So if you enjoyed, leave a comment down below, or not. And I see another tall tower proposed for across the street there. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure you hit that notification bell, that way you won't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal or via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So as we approach Queen Street, I'll say thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.